Happy to be here today. I'd like to start by extending a special thanks to Detlef for having organized this, and looking forward to having a continuing collaboration with Aachen, with Detlef, perhaps with other people around Germany, because this is actually just the second of three presentations you had, thanks to Sonia. In the morning, you had a word about our vision for Plaza.lu, which is a response to something deeper. So I'll start my presentation, well, first by saying a few words about myself. So my name is my Hive name, Sorin Cristescu, and I've joined Steam back in 2017 when I was researching lots of blockchains. I happened to work for the European Commission, and I was asked by my hierarchy to look into what blockchain technology could do for Europe. And so I set up a blockchain competence center, and we started looking with various degrees of closeness to all the blockchains that were back then in CoinMarketCap. So we took CoinMarketCap from the top down, and we said, okay, is this blockchain open source? Is this blockchain something that does it have a design goal that makes sense for the functioning of Europe? And also, is this blockchain, let's say, really decentralized, or is it controlled by a third party? In which case, of course, it would have been eliminated. So, of course, we didn't. We immediately excluded Bitcoin because it was peer-to-peer cash system, nothing to do with anything that the institutional setting is concerned with. And of course, we stopped immediately at Ethereum, and it was on our short list. But then we continued down, and we did first the long list, and then we ended up with the short list. And on the short list, there was also Steam for various reasons, namely the fact that it links ownership of a document to a given author of that document. And that was something that was of interest because there are a lot of documents in the working of the European institutions. And yeah, we need to track how those documents are, by whom they are owned and how they travel. But this is history now. I wanted to start with something provocative, is that don't throw tomatoes at me because it's just a speech trick. I don't care about Hive. Okay, what I care about is the fact that I've been witnessing the fact that our societies are crumbling and that we are going from bad to worse. We lose trust in one another. We've seen that in 2016 with Brexit and with the first mandate of Donald Trump. And as we progress, things are not going better. They are actually going worse. And I have a real fear that we might be heading toward a big global conflagration, a World War III potentially. And this is a thing I care about because I have children. And so when I started researching blockchain back in around 2013, 2014, no, unfortunately, I did not buy Bitcoin back then. I had an academic interest in blockchain, and I realized that it is a technology that can rebuild trust between people and can potentially support applications that can help heal the society. The society that is currently being torn apart by all kinds of divergent forces, and Damir has mentioned crypto tribalism. This is something. This is something that comes from human nature, deep human nature. We are tribal in nature, and so because I care about the society, I studied blockchain, and I discovered that something like Steam as a technology is the best we have, is the best blockchain. And then the whole saga with the takeover happened, and I looked a little bit closer at governance aspects, and I said, good, so now Hive is the best blockchain that we have. So this is why I'm here. It's not because I have a particular, let's say, emotional attachment to Hive. I have an emotional attachment to the state of the humankind with the way we interact with each other, with the way we care about each other or we don't care about each other. And rationally speaking, Hive is the best blockchain. So because of that, I said, okay, what I want to solve is the problem of society. Therefore, I do not need to focus on Hive, but I need to focus on the problems that we have in society. And so I look at that and I said, okay, let's try to apply blockchain to the current society as it is. And I said we need an organization to seed this process of healing through interactions, through meaningful relationship. And as it happens, I got keenly aware of the disconnect between how complex blockchain is and the normal people, the normies, what we call the normies. Okay? So I said, let's bring blockchain later into discussion. Let's hide the complexities of blockchain and focus on community, focus on interactions. And I got the opportunity to learn about this organization that is called Offchain. It's a global organization with chapters in 78 cities. And that is at its core something very basic, very human in a sense. It's people getting together, having beers, and discussing crypto and blockchain, right? So I said, oh, let's actually not create because it had been created and then mothballed because the founder had left. Let's revive Offchain Luxembourg. So I organized an event, got into contact with the people that were animating Offchain Global and say, oh, wonderful, if you want to take up and develop again Offchain Luxembourg, we are here to support you. So this is something important. You have a support network all over the world. That is, you don't need to imagine something very big, but it's small help with creating posters, with spreading the word in social media, stuff like that. That for someone like me, I was starting alone, it was quite exactly what I needed. So I started Offchain as what I call a decentralized human organization. I had a problem with the idea of a decentralized autonomous organization because in autonomous organization, people from crypto and blockchain assume that behind the interactions are directed by smart contracts. And to me, I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of smart contracts. I think we need human interactions and human negotiations rather than the rigidity of code. So I said, let's do a decentralized human organization. And then there was a second thing that was on my radar, and it was concerning me. It was the interaction between the world of blockchain and the world of law. This all happened during the years when the European Union was bringing forward the markets in crypto assets regulation, also known as Regulation EU 2023-1114. And I was wondering, okay, this regulation is supposed to offer legal certainty, to support innovation, to protect consumers and to ensure financial stability. But to my mind, it is not really that easy to both regulate, meaning providing legal certainty, and support innovation. For me, supporting innovation is not legislating. If you legislate, you are going to put constraints and you are going to almost necessarily stifle innovation. So is it really possible to support innovation and and offer legal certainty? Well, let's find out. So I tried to, first I presented, in our first event, I presented MiCA to the people who attended the event, and then I invited people to come and try out with me what is possible to do with blockchain inside the framework of MiCA regulation. So as you see here, a small animation, the blockchain and the law are separated by a river. And on one side, you have the blockchain that has been, let's say, brought to the attention of the world thanks to Bitcoin. And on the other side, you have the laws. You have in Luxembourg, well, we have in Europe, the European Union treaties and secondary legislation. And in Luxembourg, we have the Luxembourgish local law. And then the second generation of blockchains like Solana, Cardano, or Ethereum have come a little bit closer to the law because they are a little bit more centralized, and also they support applications that somehow, one way or another, they kind of need the legal enforcement. And then from the legal world, you have now MiCA. But what's in between? There is currently very little to almost nothing in between finishing the last part of this bridge. So yeah, on the blockchain shore, you have cryptocurrencies that facilitate free collaboration without the need for legal entities. But if you want to produce a coin, which is, let's say, still one of the biggest applications that are on blockchain, that run on blockchain technologies, we have coins and we trade coins and we transfer coins and we stake coins and whatever. In order to comply with the legislation, you must be issued by a legal entity. Meanwhile, Offchain Global, so this is something that I would like to draw attention to people here in Aachen. It's an unincorporated association, so it's not a Verein. It's a real, like a grassroots community, people coming together, drinking beer and discussing crypto and blockchain under a banner. So there are some logos. There is a branding. There is a way to connect to in the mind of people to other such groups all over the world, and actually it works. And again, I'm coming here. I'm talking to the tech people. Marketing is important. Why? I have a friend, a little anecdote, I have a friend who is a tech guy, and he said, I went last year to Bali, there was a Solana conference or whatever, and he was trying to make friends with other people to connect in the ecosystem and stuff. And he was presenting himself as, oh, hi, I'm Julian, I'm from, he was saying different names of different crypto projects that he was involved with, and the others was a blank stare. Never heard of that. And at some point, it crossed his mind, and he said, from Offchain Luxembourg. Oh, Offchain, I know that. There is an Offchain Bali, and there is an Offchain Kuala Lumpur, and there is an Offchain there, and an Offchain somewhere there. So just to underscore the importance of brand and marketing, right? So we said, okay, we are going to try to bring people together. Again, the main point is creating meaningful social and economic links thanks to this technology, links that would not have been possible without. So on the Low Shore, we are a Verein now. We incorporated what is called in French and Belgium an ASBL, a non-profit organization, an association sans but lucratif, meaning that we are a non-profit. And on the blockchain shore, we use Hive in order to publish and be transparent. One of the issues that I'm a member of many Vereins, of many ISBL, of many non-profits, and one big issue is the issue of trust, because there is a bank account and people contribute to that bank account, but only the people in the board decide what they can do with the money. And this is kind of toxic in the long term, because people say, oh, I pay membership fee, but I don't get a say. I get a say into electing the board, but then the board does whatever they want with my money. Right? So here we have no bank account. Our bank is the Hive blockchain. And here I would like to come back to what Damir said. Blockchain is not a one-pony trick. Forget blogging. No, I'm provocative. Don't forget blogging. But blogging is not the only thing that Hive does. We use Hive as a bank. Our treasury is on Hive in HBD. Okay? So, yeah, we don't have a bank account. We use Hive as a bank. So yeah, we have an official registration with the Luxembourg Business Register, and on the blockchain shore, we have our statutes that are in a block in the Hive blockchain. So what do I mean by decentralized human organization? Uncoerced collaboration, okay, so meaning that people can join and collaborate without being forced by anyone. We are tokenized and bankless, meaning that we account for the work of people in our own token that Sonia mentioned, that is OCLT, Offchain Luxembourg token, meaning that if you do an hour of work for us, we are not going to offer you euros because we don't have euros, remember, no bank account. But we are going to offer to compensate your work with our token, OCLT. You believe it in it or not. If you believe in it, you are going to be willing to do work for us. And as you can, for the Hivers, you can go, for instance, on the Hive Engine Explorer, and you enter token OCLT, and you get the rich list of token OCLT, and then you see who has OCLT tokens. And these are two sources of OCLT tokens, either people who made euro contribution, actually HBD contributions to the association, or people who have done work and have been paid in OCLT for the work that they have done for our association. So we have an innovative governance model with weighted voting using stake tokens, which is not like a full plutocracy like in Hive, where the more Hive you have staked, the higher your vote. Here it's a lot more democratic, where you always get one vote for being a human, for being a person, because this is the strength of a local community, the fact that we meet physically and we know each other, and this builds trust. And then the tokens that you have staked are weighted with a constant. Doesn't matter. It's described in a governance post. And we are organized in nodes, like teams who decide and manage resources autonomously. And we are proudly transparent, where decisions are public on the Hive blog. And in financial management, the operations are public in various wallets that start with OCL or OCLN. So we are incorporated, as I said. We have to have, because of the law, a centralized board of directors. We have statutes. We have to have that, and the number, and yeah. Okay, so we said, okay, community is essential. Let's create and foster a sense of belonging to a community, but that remains like empty words. We need an actual goal. I've already went over my time. I'm sorry about that. I took too long. So we said our first goal, practical objective will be to do the first MiCA-compliant token offering in Luxembourg, perhaps in Europe. So we went forward, and first of all, while we aim for being a multi-blockchain strategy, we start with Hive because it has a number of advantages. And this is where it's interesting for the Hive community, is that basically we prove by A plus B that Hive is the best blockchain. We have already started our token. It's live on Hive Engine. And we had several tries to launch the OCLT tokens on other blockchains, but they all stalled because all the other blockchains have fees, and someone has to pay the money, and they are not sure whether it's worth it or not, and they are procrastinating and prevaricating, and in the end, no one really took it into their hands to say, okay, I'm going to launch OCLT on whatever, on Ethereum or on Solana or whatever, because they need to pre-finance that, and they are not sure about it. So whereas on Hive, we are already live and everybody can, so we actually onboarded lots of people in Luxembourg thanks to this initiative. So this is where doing something that is not focused on Hive, it's focused on community, on events, on other things that I can talk at length about it later on, can bring people actually to Hive, not necessarily to blogging, because blogging is a very, let's say, niche occupation. Not everybody likes blogging, but all people need, for instance, to record the fact that they've done a service to somebody else in a way or another. And any blockchain can do that, but Hive is just the best. Okay. Well, so we have a website. We've started doing marketing. We do mainly on LinkedIn. I invite you to follow us on LinkedIn if you will. And we do education. We have 2 courses, and this brings more people into blockchain, into Hive, and also brings us some revenue to the association. Okay, and we have a MiCA-compliant white paper. Anyone wants to explore and play with that, do not hesitate to contact us. And the governance, and that's it. Thank you. Sorry for taking too long.